This is the land of the Bush Duff, aptly named after the thumping bass kick of a techno tune. It's a place where Easter means 3,000 people follow the transcendental trail into the Australian bush in search of a tribal gathering. The host of this party was Earthcore, and the location, the New South Wales and Victoria border, along the beautiful Murray River. The preparations for the 3-day non-stop rave involved commissioning several artists to create new and imaginative works of art, which transformed this bush encampment into a fairy tale-like landscape, with artifacts, installations, lights and various bits of eye candy. This is the world of Earthcore. They're 7 years old, and they've managed to master the art of putting on big outdoor events, which attract many people from the surrounding cities with the promise of an opportunity to get closer to the earth and the chance to dance under the stars.
For many people, the feedback for me is that they have some of the highlights of their year, if not the highlight of their year, is at an Earthcore party or Earthcore festival event. And that comes from all sorts of people, not just punters, but you know, the people maybe making the music, the DJs, and a lot of the artists. They get a lot out of coming to this festival, and we put in a lot. So the we stands for the larger we that comes from the directors, then our immediate kind of support group underneath, which includes artists and people running the gate, etc., logistics, and you know, even publicists and that type of thing, and then down to the punters, for people who have been coming a long time to these outdoor events, and they know what's going to happen, and they participate in that. They participate in bringing the energy in and really feeling that peak, you know, and bringing the moment to the peak, and then, you know, the camping and the chill out as well, so that new people coming in, they will really have a positive experience.
In amongst the forest of 60-foot eucalyptus trees, the encampment was divided into 3 main sections: the market zone, which provided food, drink and a non-stop dance floor, the main floor, and the site by the beach, the healing area, which provided an array of physical and spiritual workshops.
In the beginning of this century, there was a number of composers that...
The first night, Good Friday, was full of music, nostalgia, information and enlightenment. DJ Ollie Olsen gave a talk about the history of electronic music.
This stuff's been around for a while, and sonically, I mean, some of these noises are just absolutely mind-blowing.
Given examples of the progression of electronica, he delved into his archive to illustrate how this form of music confounded critics and finally gained mass appeal. On the second day, while the party continued in the market area, revellers flocked to the healing zone for a tribal gathering of sorts. Rave music, the main attraction of events like this, is 10 years old and has become an international phenomenon.
One of the things that I think that has made it a global thing is that there's been a real, because it's essentially instrumental music, it's broken down a lot of those language barriers as well. And I mean, pre-techno, I mean, there was no way somebody would, for example, listen to Japanese, you know, much Japanese music, or music from Israel, or music from Scandinavia, or, you know, anywhere. I mean, it's actually broken down a lot of, you know, language barriers, which is fantastic. And in my own travels, you know, like I've met people, you know, from other cultures and we don't share the same language and we can't communicate on that level, but I've been able to communicate through music, and, you know, that's just terrific. It knows no boundaries. So that's another strong reason I think that this scene in particular has become global, because, you know, the instrumental music, and you know, everybody can contribute to it via the technology, etc. as well. So, Madman, look out! Oh my God! Don't ruin my T-shirt, Madman. No. This is sort of a typical example of the devolution that's been occurring in Australia for the last few months, ever since we had that radioactive spill.
While everyone was either relaxing, dancing or prancing around, the Locomoptic design crew were putting the finishing touches to the decor in the main area. The showpiece, a crucifix made out of wood, televisions, dolls and computer monitors. Was this a form of techno-religion, or had the crew of Locomoptic been overwhelmed by the power of the dollar? From here on, the only language the revellers understood was wrapped around the bass line and the beat, as DJ after DJ pitched their wits against the dancing gladiators in this almost medieval amphitheatre. Even in the daylight, some of the tired managed to stay on their feet, while others headed for the comfort of their tents, hopefully to return to the fray later in the day. Sunday took on a new meaning as the main dance floor was turned over to one of Melbourne's finest dance record labels, Green Ant. The entire arena was redecorated, out went the laser and in came the fluoro dayglow decor. The music was much harder and it was very evident that this was the last leg of the Easter Spectacular. As dawn broke, the battle-weary dug deep and gave their best in a bid to make the last few moments memorable. With millions of people parting into the millennium, what is the future of the culture itself? And will it survive another 10 years? This is Black Rock City, home of the Burning Man Festival, a small, well-managed autonomous republic in the middle of the Nevada desert. It's a week-long experiment in alternative culture. This is its 12th year, and 15,000 people come here to pay homage to the Burning Man. It's more than just an art fest. It's a community of interest, a colourful environment that offers people a chance to live how they please, outside the conventions of the normal world. So what is Burning Man?
It's a bunch of things, obviously. It's obviously an art festival. It's indeed a community. It's a civic entity. It's a movement, and it's a phenomenon. I stood somewhere on this desert years ago when we first came out, and I looked around at the horizon, and there were these dust clouds rising all around us, and there were little cyclones, but to my imagination, they looked like the columns of dust raised by advancing armies. And I thought, I was by the man, and I looked up at him, and I thought, if we can raise our flag high enough, they're all coming here. And everybody thought I was crazy. I didn't tell many people; they just laughed, and they have. What we're doing is so unorthodox that it's hard for people to quite understand it. We're not anarchists, really. And we're not hippies.
You'd be pardoned for calling these people eccentrics. They pay up to $100 each to come and exhibit their own unique brand of creativity. Thank you, cheers!
What is wrong with us? Are we goddamn old ladies?
My given name, my birth name is Richard Scott McKinney. I go by the Duke. That is what I call my car. And in these circles, what I call myself, just because everybody else calls me that, it just sort of happened that way in the years traveling with an art car. Everybody just started calling me Duke, so that's the name of my car. This car, sort of a rolling biography of my life. It started out as a testament to Hunter Thompson, sort of my way of saying thank you, Hunter, for turning me into a writer, for inspiring me with your writing. But now, it's just my car, it's my life. Everything here, all the photographs and little bits and pieces. I can point you to just 1,000 objects right within my realm here that are representative of this friend or that friend or someone I don't even know that just I met for a moment who was inspired by my car. Having a plate that says art car, it's like having a license to be a complete wingnut and get away with it.
The city covers 50 million square metres and is subdivided into little zones, little pockets of interest, each with its own place in the Burning Man world.
We'll take care of the problems. You've probably seen the board, you've seen what we've done. But if you're our friend, as you both are, there's no fear, there's no retribution. Welcome, Black Rock Rangers!
It's almost totally self-reliant. It has 4 radio stations, 2 daily newspapers, even its own law enforcers. Unlike Glastonbury or Woodstock, money is worthless here. At Burning Man, you have to barter.
No, this isn't working.
I think we can swing a deal.
Okay. As long as I don't have to untie my...
This is my man over here.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, see?
Yeah! Through to the earth. Yeah. Mother Mary.
Yeah.
The people who come here depend on one another to bring all the necessary essentials to make their respective projects a success. Every skill is valued.
People just tend to come together more at something, well, at this event, more than I've seen such a diverse group, such a large group of people work together and get along and just do it.
We would not have gotten it up when we did if it hadn't been for basically a total stranger who was a metal worker, and we were having some problems and we had decided to call it a night and take it down and deal with it again in the morning. But somebody was basically like, hey, there's a metal worker down here, and he came up, and 20 minutes later we had the thing together, we put the third one on, and click, and that is Burning Man.
Burning Man is one of the few festivals to properly utilise the power of the internet. By using mailing lists and email, the organisers keep this temporary community alive in cyberspace for 51 weeks every year.
I think that it sets up the initial boundary for people to understand what to expect and what our perspective is, and issues about the environment and about personal safety. But I think once you get here and people see each other and it's face to face, it's really easy to understand the humanity behind it. It's the most immediate form of communication that we have available to us. And I think it's been highly successful. I mean, I've met quite a few people that have read The Jackrabbit Speaks and have told me that they remembered to bring something, or that they attended an event and they met new people. So that's my personal favorite form of communication.
As each night falls, the citizens of Black Rock watch the ritual of the lamplighters. The illumination they provide helps create an almost fairy tale-like landscape, just the place for an opera. Like everything else associated with this bizarre event, the theme of leaving no trace applies here too. The opera ends when the set is burnt to the ground and the revellers celebrate the destruction. As the last day draws to a close, the tension and excitement almost reaches a fever pitch. This is the night that the man burns. As a matter of fact, this is a night that almost everything burns. This significant event marks the beginning of the end, an opportunity to burn the past and start afresh. As the morning dawns, the revellers pay their last respects to the smouldering remains of the burning man. The city falls apart and all the citizens go home.